Hello guys, welcome to my channel. Today we're gonna talk about what's like to date in China. The dating culture in China is very different from the West. First of all, the process of dating is quite different. In the West, there might be some stages such as hanging out, then dating, then exclusive dating, then official boyfriend and girlfriend. In China, it is like hanging out, then official boyfriend and girlfriend, then dating, then either keep dating or break up or get married. So the order is a bit different. In China, it's just, I don't know, I just feel like it's so easy for people to enter a relationship. People start a relationship at a really early stage. Before they know a little bit more about each other, they just enter the relationship really quickly. Like from the hanging out period, you either meet that person through your family, your friends, through work or school, doesn't matter. Then you chat a little bit online or in person. Then you go out for once, twice or 3 times. After that, the guy's gonna ask you, would you be my girlfriend? Or the girl's gonna ask you, hey, what are we? Then you're probably gonna say, would you be my girlfriend? Something like that. Yeah, it's really quick, you know, it's just like so fast. I'm talking about some general relationship, okay? I'm not talking about casual relationships or friends with benefits here. So also except some situation like boys and girls are trying to play really hard to get, which can take up to half a year, 1 year, 2 years. Yes, it all depends on, you know, how hard they want to play to get. But generally, it's like that format, you know. You guys go out for a few dates and then agree to be boyfriend and girlfriend. After that, the boy or the girl is gonna post something online on social media. In China, it's WeChat or Weibo. You post online, say, oh, from now on, I'm not single anymore. Hey, everybody, meet my new girlfriend, my new boyfriend, something like that. It's like an official announcement that I have a girlfriend now, I have a boyfriend now. Just like you guys, you know, post something on Facebook saying start a relationship with someone from which date, something like that, yeah. And after you make that announcement, you guys enter the official dating period, the dating phase. You guys can do whatever couples do. You go shopping together, you go restaurants together, you go to cinema together, you go traveling together, maybe even meet each other's parents. Yeah, just all those kinds of things couple do. So yeah, after dating for a long period of time, not long period of time, depends on you. After dating for a while, then you decide either you want to keep dating this person or you want to break up with this person because you found out actually you are not suitable for each other, or you want to get married to that person. Yeah, you make future plans with them, something like that. So the dating in China, the order is a bit different. Just feel like everyone is rushing to enter a relationship. The name, the title is quite important for them. once they have the name, the title, then they can do things couples do. Like, you can only do when you're boyfriend and girlfriend. So just feel like my impression is in China, entering a relationship is really, really fast. Consequences are that there are many cheating and breakups going on or divorces going on, because we always start a relationship at a really early stage before we know more about this person. I think cheating and breakups and divorces are happening everywhere in this world. But I think in China, part of the reason is that we start a relationship at a really, really early stage, like enter a relationship really, really fast, before we figure out what's going on, what we really want. As for breakups or divorces, actually, I appreciate people who ever dare to step out and make a closure to that, because it's not really uncommon for some Chinese people. They're unhappy in this relationship, in this marriage, in this broken marriage, in this toxic relationship, but they just don't dare to finish it, to just start over again. They just don't dare to end it, they would rather just stay there, pretend everything's fine, pretend they are not leaving each other because of the kids, because of the stable material life, something like that. So yeah, secondly, most Chinese people, we start dating at a quite late age. Most of us do not have dating experience before 20 something, yeah. Because we are so busy with homework, with school, with study. Also, when we are teenagers, we are not really allowed to have a relationship. The school doesn't allow you to do so. Your parents don't like it when you do so. The society doesn't, support it. Because before graduated from high school, before you finally go to university, the main mission in your life is to study, to focus on your study. We've been told that it's the only way to change your life. It's the only way to get a decent job later. It's the only way you can go to a good university, then find a good job. Then once you have a good job, you can afford to have a good family later, maybe. So basically, we do not have time to date. We do not have time to start a relationship before 20 something. Well, of course, there are some pioneers who manage to date when they are teenagers, such as my oldest brother. He started dating when he was probably 14 years old, 15 years old. His grade was not so good, but he was very popular at school. Yeah, so he started dating at a quite young age. My parents were not really happy, but not that crazy either. Try to forbid him to do something or to go out with girls. No, not really. They were not really happy, but they didn't really say anything or do anything. So yeah, the society just told us that if your parents are not rich, are not rich enough to send you to study overseas after high school, after middle school, then you better study hard. Yeah, if your parents can send you to countries like the US, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, UK after high school, after middle school, then you have to depend on yourself. You have to get yourself a ticket to good university. So you have to prepare for the college entrance exam, which is 高考 in Chinese. It's a ticket to a good university. A good university is a ticket to a good job. A good job is a ticket to have a successful life. A successful life guarantees you a happy life. Maybe, I don't know. Yeah, so most of us, we start dating after we graduated from university, or start from university. So at least 20 something, like 20, or after 23 years old, 22 years old after you graduated. That's the thing. Like before 20 something, all we know is study, homework. We don't really know much about dating, relationship, or love. Ironically, after you graduated from university, then you are 22 years old, you are 23 years old. The expectation from your parents towards you would change radically. Somehow, I don't know why, before they don't want you to date, they don't want you to have a relationship. Then after you graduated from university, all in a sudden, they expect you to have a relationship, to start dating, to have a boyfriend or girlfriend, to get married, then have kids, like all in a row. They expect you to finish these major 3 important things in your life within few years. They expect you to finish these 3 important things, to complete these 3 important missions before 30 years old. So from 22 to 30, basically you only have 7 or 8 years to do this kind of thing. Best case scenario, you are lucky, your first love gonna be your last love. Yeah, the first love is gonna be your future husband or your future wife. They will never cheat on you, they will always love you. Then you guys just like hit it off straight away. Then dating for 2 years, you're 25, then you get married. Then around 27 years old, you get pregnant. Like your kid will be born before 30 years old. But this is the best case scenario, right? And I'm sure it's really, really rare. So the reality is there are so many of Chinese people who are still single when they are turning 28, 29 years old, and their parents start to get so worried, because in China there is a saying for people who are still single when they are 28, 29 years old. It's called leftover men or leftover women in English. In Chinese, it is 剩男剩女, means whoever are still single when they are 28, 29, 30 years old. It's ridiculous. I don't know why there's a name, there's a tag for that. Because it's impossible, you know. You're not allowed to date before 20 something. or they wouldn't be happy if you start a relationship at a really young age when you're a teenager, and then they expect you to get married straight away, have kids straight away before 30. Otherwise, you will become the leftover group. You will belong to the leftover women or leftover men. But of course, nowadays, younger generation, they do not care about the leftover women or leftover men tax. There are so many women and men who are 30 or over 30 years old, in their 30s, but they're doing great in their career, in life. They do not care how the society call them. They do not care all those kind of things. They just live their best time of their life, you know. There was one guy I know back in Shenzhen in 2018. It was 4 years ago. So back then he was 28 years old. He was making a decent salary, was about 3,000 USD a month. It's not great salary, but definitely it's decent salary in Shenzhen back then. Yeah, so he was originally from Hubei, and his parents started to worry about his marriage, worry about his relationship, because he had never dated anyone. So his parents started introducing girls to him. After a couple of girls, finally there was one girl. She was 1 year older than him. Then very quickly, within 2 years, so 2018, they met each other. Then after a few months, they discussed about getting married. So in 2019, they got married, and in the end of 2019, around December, their first child was born. Less than 2 years, he just completed these two major tasks in life: getting married and have kid. My friend is a very nice guy, but he's not tall. He's probably about 165 centimeter or a bit shorter. And he is a bit bald. So I don't know, maybe that was a reason, like he didn't get a chance to know more girls by himself, or I don't know. Also, there was one girl I know from work. So back then, she was 28 years old. She told me that she wanted to get married before 30, and she wanted to have kid before 30. She told me that she doesn't care if her marriage succeed or not. She only cares that she would finish these two things before 30. As long as she get married and have kids, later if she divorces, she can tell others that I have been in marriage. I have had been in marriage. I have had got married once. I'm not left over, you know. I have had experienced all that already. I found it really shocking, you know. I just couldn't understand, like, how crazy it is. You just want to get married because you don't want to be called the leftover women. You just want to prove to others, actually, I can get married before 30. I can have kids before 30. I'm not the leftover women. That's really ridiculous, you know, just absurd. I just don't get it. Even though it's not really common among Chinese, like young generation, to think like that, but I'm sure there are definitely some group of people think the same as her. People who are trying to prove to others that they are living a quite alright life. They are doing quite alright, you know. Just feel like everything they do is just a presence for others. They actually don't even know what they want in life. They just want to show others that others wouldn't judge them because they already, did the normal things, already like have done the normal things normal people should have done by that age. Yeah, they don't even know what's going on. They just want to prove, they just want to show all the fake things so they wouldn't be judged. They wouldn't be picked up. And that girl did get married before 30, and she had her first child when she was 30 years old. I'm happy for her. I mean, yeah, she made her dream come true. Thirdly, I want to talk about sex education in China. Sex education is not widely covered in China. Even though nowadays you can basically learn everything online. Yes, but I still remember when I grew up, parents never really talked about sex, never really taught us anything about sex or how to use protection, stuff like that, never. At school, there were some classes. There were a few classes were talking about how our body will change when we enter adolescence, explain how period works and puberty, something like that. But actually, there was not really anything to explain how you should protect yourself when it comes to sex, how to use the condom properly, or how to take some birth control medicines. Not really things like that. So I feel like the whole society in China, generally, is still quite conservative and traditional when it comes to sex. Even though nowadays younger generation are more open-minded and are willing to learn a lot of things as well, but I think in general the atmosphere there is still quite traditional and conservative. There are also some, now it's 2020, there are still some guys that prefer virgins, I'm sure not only in China, there are still many guys in different corners of this world who prefer virgins. I think it's so ridiculous. But what can you do? You can't really change their mind, right? I don't know what's so important, so magical about that piece of hymen. And why that piece of hymen can define a girl to be good or bad. So you're gonna be a really bad girl if you're not virgin anymore. You're gonna be a super sweet girl, wife material, if you have that hymen. There are some surgery. Actually, there is surgery for making a fake hymen. Yeah, there are some surgery. I think there are surgeries like that in China, in Thailand, in Vietnam, or some other Southeast Asian countries. I don't know. I'm just so speechless, and it's just so sexist as well, like double standard. I still remember when I started dating at the age of 18. My parents got so worried. They just they were calling me so often because I was not living with them. I was studying in a different city. So basically they were calling me so often to check out on me, to tell me need to be careful. in case he's playing with me, or I need to protect myself, even though they wouldn't say it directly. But I felt that they hinted in so many ways that I should protect myself, you know? Protect what? Protect my virginity or what? Back then, I found it really annoying because why can't you just leave me alone to enjoy my relationship, right? To enjoy my time. So back then, I didn't really think it's like insulting or something, you know. Then I just felt it's unfair. Why my brothers could start dating at the age of 14, 15 years old, and when I started dating at the age of 18, then you got so panicked. Why is that? Because I'm the youngest child in my family, because I'm the only girl in my family. I think it's normal for parents to worry, yes, of course. But if you're just worried about like she's gonna lose her virginity, then she's gonna in trouble in her future marriage life, then I think it's outrageous. It's just off the wall. But my parents never ever said that directly. They just hinted in so many ways that they're afraid that I will be heartbroken, then I will lose something. Now I just think, what's the matter, right? If it happens naturally, mutually, willingly, and used protection properly, what's the matter, right? Why women are defined to be the victims of sexual activities always? Why always? I mean, there's no one raping you, right? Well, if he rapes you, then it's a completely different story. Yes, so... But nowadays, my parents support me 100% whatever I do. I think as I grew older, my parents trust me more and more. So basically nowadays they support me 100% whatever I want to do with my life. A few years ago, I told them I wanted to go to Australia to live for a few years. Even though they were not really willingly to let me go, to see me go, but they accept the truth and they support me whatever I wanted to do. Actually, I don't blame my parents for behaving like that. When I started dating at the age of 18, they behaved like so worried and freaked out because they grew up in a very different time and era as mine. So the environment made them like that, you know? It's not up to them. The society made them like that. So for them, it's quite normal for girls to, you know, to protect their purity, because otherwise you wouldn't have a good reputation. When they grew up, they've been told that you need to protect yourself. Women should be saving, you know, your first time for your future husband, something like that. So yeah, actually they are also victim of the environment. They are in that circle for so long. They couldn't step out, you know, they couldn't step out to see what's going on outside. That's why they have that stereotype as many other Chinese people do, you know, like older generations. So I don't blame them, you know. Like, I know in the future my kids will know much more than I do. They will always know something I do not know, you know, unless I catch up with them really hard. So they're probably gonna think, hey, Mom, you are so old-fashioned. Why can't you even see the world is different now? Why can't you accept the truth? Your way of living is not working nowadays anymore, something like that. So yes, so actually my parents also victims of that type of culture, that type of tradition, not because they chose to be like that, and I'm happy nowadays they changed a lot. They're like a conception about marriage, about relationship, about kids has changed a lot over the past 10 years. Nowadays they are more open-minded. They would like to learn new things, sometimes even though they don't understand, but they still would like to try to understand, even though they still don't understand, but they still try to respect and trust me as an adult to make right decision about my life, which I really, really appreciate that. Because the world is changing and you have to change. Otherwise, you will just, be left behind. Oh, today I talked a bit too much. I personally recommend younger generation to date more, to go out to meet more friends, to start dating at a younger age, because the more people you meet, the better you know yourself. You know which type of partner suitable for you. You know what you want in life. Yeah, what type of marriage you want. Yeah, something like that. Just go explore, go experience. Thank you, guys.